Hi, Arcfieldweather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, December the 11th. Storm system continues to impact upstate New York, northern New England this morning with some snowfall. Looks like several inches of snow can fall anywhere from the upper part of New York State across the northern half of Vermont, northern half of New Hampshire, and upstate Maine as well. Over the next several hours, 6+ inches of snow can accumulate. There was some snow in the overnight hours all the way down to DC, anywhere from a coating to maybe an inch or an inch and a half in some of those suburban areas to the north and west of the district. Certainly a coating was widespread across the Philadelphia suburbs this morning, and all that precipitation has moved out. It will remain quite windy for the next several hours, and basically moderate cold air over the next few days and relatively dry. And we'll start to now take a look at the potential for another storm system that will drop down into the Gulf of Mexico by the weekend. It may then turn up the eastern seaboard. If so, it would have an impact potentially on the mid-Atlantic region. Let's say about a week from now, we're talking about next Monday, for example. Likely, if that were to take place, rain along coastal sections, snow inland would likely be the result. Let's start off here by taking a look at the latest radar map across the nation. And again, precipitation is over in DC and Philadelphia, winding down now in New York City, and all the way from upstate New York across Vermont and New Hampshire and the upper part of Maine. Certainly can be 6+ inches of snow over the next few hours. Rain along coastal sections. The storm system pulling off to the north and east, and pretty quiet across much of the rest of the nation. There will be snow showers in just downstream of the Great Lakes today, and a lot of wind in the mid-Atlantic region, but basically a quieter pattern across the basically about 2/3 of the nation. Again, New England getting impacted here by this significant storm system that continues to pull to the north and east. Well, let's take a look at the possibility of another pretty big storm system that could have an impact on the East Coast in about a week. It certainly will impact places across the interior west later this week, perhaps significant snow, places like Colorado and New Mexico, and then that storm slides eastward, southeastward into the Gulf of Mexico. And whether it sits there and spins for a few days or rides up the eastern seaboard, it's something we'll focus in on over the next few days. This is the operational version of the GFS from 0Z last night. What we're looking at are 500 millibar height anomalies going forward from midday today, and then we'll go through the next several days here. Pretty deep upper level trough situated across the eastern third of the nation. That surface low pressure now impacting New England on its way up to the southeastern part of Canada. Now we'll kind of walk through this quickly here. It stays moderately cold much of the eastern half of the nation over the next few days, and here comes that next upper level low pressure area. This is by late Wednesday night time frame, and again, this could produce quite a bit of snow in places like Colorado and New Mexico later this week. Let's say days 4 and 5 from right now. And that particular system then slides to the east towards the Gulf of Mexico. Here we go into the weekend now. Sunday morning, strong upper level low sitting over the Gulf of Mexico. And that GFS has a northern system showing up here over the southern part of Canada, and ultimately it joins these two together and forces the system, or the result is that this low pressure area at the surface slides to the north and east up along the eastern seaboard. We'll go out a little farther in time, and again into the early part of next week. Now this is 1 week from right now. Next Monday, December 18th, that upper level low sitting over the Gulf of Mexico kind of is enhanced somewhat by that northern branch system. They kind of coalesce together here into one strong upper level trough situated cutting across the Hudson Bay region of Canada into the Mid-Atlantic region and then off the southeast U.S. coastline. And this particular model run has a strong storm system situated right off the Mid-Atlantic coastline, again about a week away from right now. It's certainly a feasible solution, but it is not the only solution. The European model kind of keeps that Gulf of Mexico system sitting and spinning late this weekend, early part of next week. And we'll take a look in a moment here after the surface maps from the GFS. We'll take a look at the Canadian model. It too, like the European model, does not push that system up along the eastern seaboard. Right now, I'd give it a 50-50 chance, and we'll certainly monitor it over the next few days. But both the Canadian and European models kind of hang back that upper level low over Florida or the eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico at the end of the weekend into the early part of next week. We'll go out a little bit farther in time, and it continues to swing to the north and east. And by the way, following this, upper level ridging will certainly dominate later next week, causing above normal temperatures throughout much of the nation later next week. Now let's take a look at the surface maps. And again, this is using the GFS model, the 0Z version of the conventional model here. Again, a lot of snow upstate New York across northern New England over the next few hours. Some places certainly can pick up 6 to even as much as a foot of snow in some of those higher elevation locations, northern New England. Now, let's move forward here. Again, a relatively quiet pattern across much of the nation in the next few days. Moderately cold in the Mid-Atlantic region. Certainly have Canadian high pressure in control right through the middle of the week in the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, later this week, there certainly can be some significant snow, especially those higher elevations of Colorado and New Mexico from that developing storm system. Here is that result at the surface here from that upper level low moving across the interior southwestern part of the U.S. This is a Thursday midday forecast map. Notice a lot of moisture here, Gulf of Mexico as well. That system drops south and east across Texas into the Gulf of Mexico, and here we are during the upcoming weekend with a strong storm system right here over the peninsula of Florida by Sunday morning. This particular model run then sends this system up along the eastern seaboard, producing a big-time storm system. Here we go by next Monday morning, a week from right now, December 18th. Strong storm system, coastal rains. There's liable to be some inland snows if this in fact comes to fruition here. It then continues to ride up to the north and east with a cold shot coming in behind it. Now, let's take a look at an alternate solution right now from the Canadian model. And here we go. We'll start off with the midday forecast map from the Canadian model run 0Z last night. This is Monday afternoon, Monday evening, and we'll go forward here. And for the next few days, certainly in full agreement here with the GFS, but with some significant snow possible later in the week. Colorado, New Mexico, that storm system then slides to the south and east, just like the GFS model is doing right here. By the time we get to the middle part of the weekend, and here's Sunday morning, has a reflection right here in the northern Gulf of Mexico, maybe another one down across the Bahamas, north of Cuba here by late in the upcoming weekend. And then Canadian model, again, similar to the European model, just kind of hangs this system down over Florida, the eastern Gulf of Mexico. It sits and spins. This is now going all the way out into next Tuesday. Again, at this particular time, the GFS model had that area of low pressure riding up right along the eastern seaboard. And it's still a little too early to say which of these two scenarios will be the correct one. I would give it a 50-50 chance right now that indeed there will be a strong storm system off the Mid-Atlantic coastline about a week from right now. Next Monday we're talking about, but this is something we'll focus in on throughout the remainder of this week. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Doria.